What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys can hear me all right, put a 1 in the chat. Let's fix this real quick here. So yeah, they caught a serial killer 30 years later through DNA, which is so cool. He was known as the Interstate 65 killer and the Days Inn killer, and I think just the advancement in DNA is just so promising, and it gets me excited for because this happened in Indiana. So if Delphi is in Indiana, could this could they be using this to help solve that case as well? That would be really cool. I really feel like Delphi, Indiana will be solved. So anywho, let me jump into the missing real quick. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And thank you, Cynthia, for the $5. I appreciate that. That really helps. And I'm sorry about Paranormal Tuesday last night, guys. I was going to go live and do a Paranormal Live Tuesday. Sadly, my aunt was having some issues. She had to go to the ER this morning. And so I kind of had to keep an eye on her last night. And you know how we are. We're stubborn and we don't want to go to the ER, even though things are wrong and we should probably go. She didn't want to go, and so we had to keep an eye on her last night, and so I wasn't able to go live, so I apologize. But she's doing fine. She's in the ER, and it's gonna have some tests done. So, but it's just, I don't know. We have that going on, and then we have her daughter. So my aunt's in the ER, and then the same day, my cousin, her daughter, is actually in surgery right now. So the two of them are in the hospital. It's kind of crazy, but everything should be fine. So I'm sorry, my mom did not want to go to the hospital yet. Oh, so your mom had to go? Oh, that's terrible. I know, that's tough. So thank you, Tom, and thank you for becoming a member. That's awesome. Seen so many new people. I appreciate it. Okay, so we'll jump right in here real quick. So if you're newer to my channel, I cover true crime, cold cases, and I do paranormal, and I will get a video out. Just sadly, things happen in life that just kind of you can't help. So, but with all my videos, I'd like to introduce the missing. What's up, Marvelous Investigates? Speaking of that, we'll probably be doing, I'm not sure whose channel, but I will be going live and talking with a couple of different channels about the Delphi murders. So I'm super excited for that. Not sure which channel we'll be on, but it doesn't matter. We'll record it and show you guys. So I'm super excited for that. So let me close this out real quick. So this is be on the lookout. This just happened a couple of hours ago. So this is Erica Portillo. She is 13 years old. She does not look like it in this photo. I mean, I was like, wait a minute, 13 years old? Got the makeup on and stuff, but 13 years old. Last seen yesterday at 5 p.m. Metro Library. Wearing a black hoodie, Vans, black face mask. They think she could possibly be in Norman, Oklahoma. So if anybody's in Oklahoma, just keep an eye out for Naomi. It's be on the lookout for her. Let's see if there's anything else in there. So, okay, so there's that. And jump over. As you guys know, I've been emailing Bolduc's sister. She sent this in to me about over a week ago. This is a kind of a special request, and if anybody has anybody that's out there that's missing and doesn't have the coverage they need, they can always email me. I'd be more than happy to feature them in my live shows or any of my videos. So This is Joseph Michael Bolduc. He went missing on August 26 in 2017. So he's been missing for 5 years. The family has not seen him. I can't imagine what that must be like to have a family member missing for that long and have no idea, no answers. So he was apparently pulled over, and I guess they took his car. I guess he didn't have like money or a phone, and they dropped him off in Goodyear, Arizona, and has not been seen since. So it's kind of sad because, here the last people he was with was law enforcement. They drop him off, and he goes missing. I mean, that's just, it must be just absolutely devastating to the family. So here's just a better picture of him as well, and I've got some others. Next time if I do his case. So here's Joseph. So anybody in Goodyear, Arizona, just keep a lookout. As you guys know, it's sadly Arizona. They say it's the second state when it comes to missing. They say Alaska's number one, but I think per volume, Arizona is number one by far. Some of it has to do with it being the border of Mexico. From what law enforcement says, they say, you have the cartel, and then they kind of also blame it on it just being a desert out there. And so, because I've been kind of doing some studies on that, and I will probably definitely do videos about just people going missing in Arizona. So all right. So we got those two. So let's see, where should we start at? Let me pull up here. Oh, and then Ariana Taylor, she also went missing. This one's a strange case, and I'm going to be doing a story on this as well. So she got in a car accident, I believe, on April 4th, I think it was the 4th. Then a family reported her missing on the 5th. Now this is really crazy because apparently she was hanging out with some friends. They were doing some drinking. She left in her own car. She got in an accident on the freeway on Interstate 65. And all they found was some bloody clothes, some shoes, and her busted up car. And no Ariana. So they're starting to believe this is a case of foul play. And so this was in Northwest Indiana, off Interstate 65, which is kind of interesting because we're gonna get into the Interstate 65 serial killer. Do you have any content on John Shaden? I don't. Tom, let me know. I'm not sure. I've never heard of Tom Shaden. Is that somebody that's missing? You'll have to let me. Yeah, I have not heard that name. I can punch that name in it real quick, and then we'll get into the story. Tom Shaden. Is that somebody missing? John Shaden. Yeah, you have to let me know. Is this somebody that's missing, or is this a lot of Tom Shadens here? Is this a person of interest? You'll have to let me know, Tom, and we'll have to look into it when I get some time. So, anywho, so they finally ID'd this guy. Sadly, this guy, Harry Greenwell, Harry Edward Greenwell, who is known to at least murdered 4 women, and believed to have murdered more. And it started in 1987, and he came up missing about 10 miles from the same spot as Brandon Lawrence. Oh, okay, interesting. All right, if I get some time, I'll definitely look into that. Thank you, Tom. So sadly, Harry Greenwell died in 2013 due to lung cancer. But these murders went unsolved for nearly 30 years, and they were all of them were off the interstate, or were close to the interstate at Days Inn Motel. And so I'll kind of go into the timeline and everything. And Rainwalker, he lived 3 minutes from maybe. Okay, Jade like Rainwalker. Okay. When I can, I'll write that name down if I can. So this was his first known victim. So this is Vicki Heath, 41, who was sexually and fatally shot while working at the night shift at the Super 8 Motel in Elizabethtown in Kentucky. So as you can see, I've got my let me scoot that over so my face isn't blocking. So she apparently was the first victim. And this was in 1987. And so you have Interstate 65 here. And so she was an employee at the Super 8. And she was working the night shift. And so she was assaulted and fatally shot. Then we move on. 2 years later, on March 3rd, 1989, Greenwell is said to have sexually and killed Margaret Peggy Gill, who was only 24. She was working as a night auditor at the Days Inn in Merrillville, Indiana, when Greenwell attacked her sometime between 12:30 and 2:30. So as you can see, I've got the white line here. So this is Interstate 65. And you got the Days Inn just right off this freeway here. And so she was assaulted and killed on March 3rd, 1989. And they believe between 12:30 and 2:30. And sadly, that wasn't enough for Harry Greenwell. And the same day, early in the morning, Jeanne Gilbert, 34, was also killed on the night of March 3rd, 1989. She had been working as a part-time auditor at the Days Inn in Remington, Indiana. So I kind of showed the distance between the two. Let me zoom this out a little bit. So so this is Margaret here, killed between 12:30 and 2:30. And so that must have been early in the morning on March 3rd. And then, so he must have left. And then during the night, the same day, so he left. And that's about an hour drive to this Holiday Inn. It's a Holiday Inn now. And at that night, came across Gilbert, sadly. And I believe she was also assaulted. And they sadly found her body, I think, in the street. I'll have to look that up for sure. I'm not sure. But, so that was his third victim that they know of. And so at this point, they had no idea who was doing this. So this has been 2 years now. And then in 1990, so now you're 3 years later, I don't know. Share on Facebook. Yeah, I'm going to be setting up a new Facebook, Melissa. Because the Facebook I have is kind of a mess right now. I meant to set up a Facebook where it was you could just follow me. And that way I could message and stuff. But I had it set up, sadly, where you can add me as a friend. Which, at the when I first did that, I didn't think it'd be too big of a problem. But then I started adding people. And then I started getting all these bot accounts that were adding me or trying to add me. And just one day I went to go check how many people were friend requests I had. And I had I swear to God, I had hundreds and hundreds of friend requests. And most of them were bot accounts. So I'm like, I gotta switch that. So that's something I'm gonna be changing as well. So, Yeah, tonight. Knowledge is OP. Yeah, it's just 10 is the only numbers in the email. Maybe that's what it is. I'm so glad you brought that up, Melissa. Maybe that's what's going on. Is people are confusing that for a 1, maybe? Because I do. I get a lot of people that have a problem with my email. Like I said, I'm gonna change that. Sorry for jumping off track there. So anyway, so 3 years later, on January 2nd, 1990. Now this is a Jane Doe. She didn't want to come forward, but and luckily she survived. So she was assaulted, and she was stabbed as a 21-year-old woman working as a clerk. So it looks like all these women were working there, working at all these motels and hotels. And so this happened at the Days Inn in Columbus, Indiana. The Jane Doe managed to flee Greenwell and provided police with the description that yielded this sketch, and we'll look at the sketch and everything. So here's Interstate 65 right here. Here's your Jane Doe, and we're just right off the freeway. And so she was able to provide this sketch, and we'll take a look at it here. So here's the sketch. Sadly, there's not very good pictures of Harry Greenwell. We got a mug shot. I think both of them are mug shots, but since they're kind of back in the early 90s, I believe, they're not the best. So this is the sketch she gave. Notice the lazy eye. That was kind of what was supposed to stand out. And sadly, the thing that kind of comes across when I see this is, if let's say you didn't see his picture, I would think this guy was like in his like 50s, late 40s, upper 50s. I would think this would be an older gentleman. Sadly, just because of the gray beard. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is? To me, the beard makes him look like he's much, much older. And I'll find out what age he was when this happened. But I don't think he was that old. I think maybe in his 30s, I think, at the most. So clearly this guy looks a lot older than him. And sadly, he was wearing a beanie, so the hair, you're not going to be able to match the hair. I've got another picture of him. So this is really the only two good pics. Yeah, Troy looked older as well. So, like I said, here's his pic. It's not the best. It's really hard to match the nose because he's kind of got his head like kind of tilted back, so it's kind of hard to tell like the proper nose. But you can see the lazy eye. That would definitely stand out. But this beard would really throw me off. Kind of makes me wonder, now that I see this and kind of match it with him, kind of makes me see why maybe Delphi, if they didn't want to, as we know, with Delphi, you got the two sketches, and you kind of got the older guy sketch, and you got the younger guy sketch who doesn't have a beard or anything, and eyebrows match. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They do. Interesting. Let me look at the other one. Very nice. Very nice, Craig. Okay, yeah, his eyebrows are really hard to see in that one. Yeah, it does kind of got distinctive eyebrows that kind of curve, and they definitely brought that out in that one. Yeah, it's almost so now his lazy eye. It looks like this is his lazy eye on the right. Now this could be a mirror image. Or this one, I'm not sure. This, so that's why. But, because clearly this is the lazy, I'm assuming this is the lazy eye. But yeah, it definitely, it's got that nice little curve right there. Both of them have eyes, one nose, and a mouth. Perfect match. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The wonky eyes match just mirrored. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes photos do get mirrored, so that could be the case there. Um, I said if you ever took this beard off, it'd probably make him look like 10 years younger, in my opinion. Um, but I guess if you saw the eyes, that would definitely kind of stick out. But wait until you read his obituary; it's crazy. They think like apparently this was some real, nice guy, but not really. But we'll get into that in just a minute. So here's just kind of a, oop, what did I do? Oh, I brought it up there. How did I do that? Sorry, guys. Okay. So here's just to kind of zoom back to see where these all took place. So let's see. You've got the first victim here. So she was the first victim. So this happened. This was the first victim in the 1980s. And then you've got Margaret and Gilbert, and they were on the same day, March 3rd, 1987. So that took place here. So he started out here, he went north, and then headed back south towards Indianapolis. And luckily, this girl survived. She got stabbed, and she was assaulted, but luckily made it out and was able to get that description out there. So I'll go over this here in just a second. So here's the timeline of Henry and like what's been going on with him. It wasn't the best picture, so let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. So so the legend says, the criminal events. So all the blue ones are criminal events, and then the red are significant events, and the green is kind of the inactive period. So here you've got 1965. He was arrested in Jefferson County for sodomy in Kentucky. Arrested in Louisville for armed robbery. This is all basically 1963 and 65. Convicted and sentenced to 2 years, and then put on 5 years probation. He was finally paroled. Then apparently got married. His wife died in a house fire in Vernon County, Wisconsin. Greenwell remarried in Henry County, Kentucky. And then he was arrested in Vernon County, Iowa for burglary. And then he escaped custody twice. Then he was sent back to the state penitentiary. And then comes the murders. So you got the murder of Vicki, 1987 at the Super 8 Motel. So pretty much right after he's let's see, so 84 to 86. So not long after he's released, it takes about 2 years off, and then he goes to killing. And takes 2 years off, murders Margaret and Gilbert in the same day. So, whoa. Oh, thank you so much, Lady M. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you, sweetheart. That really helps. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Give Lady M some love. She is so awesome. Lady M was literally my first member I ever had. So that's just like something I'll never forget for like the rest of my life is just having that first member support your channel. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, it's something I'll never forget for the rest of my life. And there's tons of moments that have just going on with my YouTube. I just hit 25,000 subscribers, and I'm already blowing past that. So thank you guys so much for the support. It's so amazing, and I'm really trying to evolve my channel. I've definitely came a long way, that's for sure. And I'll, like I said, I'm trying to work really hard to make it unique experience to, so it's not just another, YouTube channel to tune into. And like I said, the big thing, especially getting my car going, is I want to go to Moab, and I have Skinwalker Ranch, which is only a couple of hours away from me. So I am definitely going there. And what's cool about Skinwalker Ranch is my buddy Nick lived with the guy next door to the Skinwalker Ranch. So I have access to next door of Skinwalker Ranch because he's Indian and he's on the reservation. So, oh, thank you, Copper Horse. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. That's so awesome. Thank you. I think after today we could probably kick on the 35% and start donating to the animals because that'll definitely help. Thank you guys so much. That's so awesome. Thank you guys. But like I said, yeah, the car, it'll be nice because like I said, I am not just going to be covering stuff. I am going to be actually going out and filming once it gets just a little bit warmer. It literally snowed yesterday. It was crazy. Utah's funny. Thank you, Erica. Thank you so much. You guys are so awesome. Raina is cool. Would love to stream about. Yeah. So Raina, I have my cousin who I live with. He actually lived with the guy on an Indian reservation next to Skinwalker Ranch, and they have crazy stories to tell. And maybe I could have him on live one time to tell some of these stories. But there's stories I've never even heard that are like really interesting. Just weird stuff that still goes on today that they're doing. They're still doing stuff out there, which is crazy. So that's why I want to get out there and because I know this guy will let me on the Indian reservation, and apparently this Indian reservation surrounds the Skinwalker Ranch. So I am super excited to go out there. So thank you guys so much. Send everybody that loves. Send Lady M some love, Copper Horse and Erica. Thank you guys so much. So I'm sorry for sidetracking there. So apparently, so he murdered. His first murder is 87. He takes 2 years off. Then he murders 2 people in the same year, same day. And then he takes. So that's an 89. And then next year, in 1990, is where he raped. I can't say that word. He assaults a lady and tries to stab her. Well, he stabs her, and then luckily she gets away, and she's the one who comes up with the sketch. Then it looks like he took time off or whatever from 91 to 97. Then in 98, he was arrested in Almaki. I hope I'm not butchering that. Alamaki. I hope I said that right. County, Iowa, for felony possession. And then arrested for violation of restraining order in the same county. And the case was dismissed. Wow. And then in 2013, Henry Edward Greenwell died of lung cancer. Thank you so much for Erica for becoming a member. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are so awesome. So there's a little timeline that the FBI provided. And then what's cool is they also, and I can't wait to show you guys this, is this. This is really cool because this shows kind of what evidence was left at what scene. So I'm really interested to, I just took a little peek at this. But I think this is a really cool diagram that they kind of built right here. Let me make sure that I'm not blocking it here. So let's look at the legends. So ballistic match, DNA match, and MO. So modus operandi. So everything in red is something it's an MO. It's something that's connected to the other cases. Yellow is the DNA that they recovered. and blue is the firearms. So you've got the first murder of Vicki. So one of the things that was the same MO was the motel. It was either Days Inn, Super 8, or I forget the other one that's connected with Days Inn. Holiday Inn? I'm not sure if Holiday Inn's connected, but manner of death, 2 gunshot wounds to the head. So I guess that's apparently a similar MO to other victims. Victim was assaulted and the business was robbed. Okay, that's new. And so they luckily found some DNA recovered from the scene, which is great. Then you go to the 2 murders that happened the same day. So the same MO would be Days Inn Motel. Manner of death is 2 gunshot wounds to the head. Victim was sadly assaulted and the business was robbed. They found a weapon, 22 caliber firearm, or maybe they found, well, it says weapon, so either they found a weapon or they found, I think it's probably they found the shell casings. So usually they don't leave their guns behind. So then we got Gilbert. So this is the same MO. So it's Days Inn Motel. So David, what excites me about this is, well, the reason why I want to go over this is because this is in Indiana, and how they caught this guy was through advancement in DNA technology and genealogy, and obviously we know that that's how they caught the Golden State Killer. And so, like I said, I always believe that the Delphi murders will be solved, and if it ain't through IDing somebody, I feel like it's going to be through this same technique, is through DNA advancement and going through the family tree, familial DNA. So that's kind of why I'm excited to talk about this story, is because, hopefully they can solve this case, the Delphi murder case, because I believe they have some kind of DNA, probably weak DNA, but they have something, and it's just a matter of time. So that's just my 2 cents on that. So back to this. So the Days Inn Motel is the same MO, and I guess you could really say, I don't know why they don't have this in red, but you could really say all these are off I-65 too. And so manner of death was gunshot wound to the head. So this guy, for some reason, was headshots. And then the victim was assaulted. The business was robbed. DNA was recovered from the scene. So these 2 happened on the same day. Then you got the 1990, which is a year later. The same MO as Days Inn Motel. And the victim was assaulted. Business was robbed, and the victim, apparently. And DNA was recovered from the scene. So it looks like from these 3 scenes here, from collecting DNA, and I've got the video where they talk about how they kind of have the advancement in the DNA, but I think it's amazing. Let me see if so there's that. So I wanted to show, let's see, so more than 30 years. Okay, so this is what I want to read. So more than 30 years after 3 women were murdered and another one brutally assaulted. And they do think that he was involved in others, but they're still investigating it, because there's some similar MOs as well with some cold cases. So this is a unique method that generates new leads for unsolved homicides, as well help identify unknown victims. So Edward Greenwell was identified through this method as the person responsible for 4 attacks. He died in 2013 at the age of 68 in Iowa. He had extensive criminal history. He was dubbed the I-65 or Days In murderer. He robbed and murdered 3 young women, left a 4th for dead through hotels in Kentucky and Indiana. Then we kind of just went over the victims here. So this kind of starts to talk about how they get into the DNA. In 2019, Indiana State Police requested the assistance through the FBI's Gang Responsive Initiative. Since these crimes were committed, many investigative and scientific techniques have either improved or been created through new advancements in technology. One of these methods is investigative genealogy, and it combines the use of DNA analysis with traditional genealogy research in historical records to generate investigative leads for unsolved violent crimes. So like I said, this was first really used to catch the Golden State Killer, which I think is huge, especially to catch him when he's still alive. Sadly, this guy, passed away with lung cancer. Hopefully, he had the worst, time of his life at the end. So this technique involves uploading a crime scene DNA profile to one or more genetic genealogy databases in an attempt to identify a criminal offender's genetic relatives. So they have DNA, but it's weak, so the DNA can't really be traced to this particular person. But the DNA is strong enough that you can latch onto a family tree, if that makes sense. And I could be explaining it wrong, but this is what I get from it, is that the DNA is weak, so you can't be attached to the actual individual, but the DNA there's enough DNA in there that you can kind of get a family tree out of, and then you kind of work your way through the relatives, and locate the offender within the family tree. Utilizing this process, a match was made to Greenwell with a close family member. Through this match, it was determined that the probability of Greenwell being the person responsible for the attacks was more than 99%. So, I mean, that's pretty strong, 99%. So, I think it's just absolutely amazing, especially for the family members that have had to, that are related to the victims, not to have any answers for that, for all those years. So I think that's truly amazing. So before I play the video, so it's them talking, and I'm not sure, Carter might be in here, as you guys know, if you follow Delphi, Douglas Carter, the superintendent. I think he might be in this. I'm not sure. I haven't watched the video, but I know they kind of talk about just kind of recap everything we went through. But it's really interesting. But just to quickly take a quick break. So as you guys know, I've been having you guys send in your pictures of your pet just to kind of take a little break from everything. And so this is from Bunny, and this is Calvin. She says that Calvin is by her side at all times. Thank you, Bunny, for sending that in. And this is from Chihuahua, Dawson. I don't know if Chihuahua's in here right now, but this is from Chihuahua. And this is Dotson. Look at that little guy. Got his little tongue out. It's awesome. That is awesome. Happy little guy. And this is from April 12. So cute. Got the tie on. That's just awesome. And this is Monkey. So this is Monkey. He's got his little tie on. That's awesome. That's so cute. So that's from April 12. And I think I got one or two more. Like I said, I'm going to do just a few a day. That way I know you guys, if you don't see yours today, I said you might see it tomorrow. I just didn't want to like show everybody's and then not have anything to show the next day. So this is from Aaron, and this is Alfie and Zuzu, and it looks like they're just kind of cuddled up and they got their little sweaters on. That's cute. It's either Zozo or Zuzu. Alfie and Zuzu. So thank you, Aaron, for sending that in. I know Black Cats. I know there was a movie, Constantine, that I don't want to say John Wick. It's not John Wick. Keanu Reeves was in, and there's a black cat in it. And ever since I've seen that black cat with the overbite, I'm like, oh my god, I want a black cat with an overbite because it looks so cute. Oh, David Gray, you got black cats as well? Yeah, I've only had one black cat. For some reason, all my cats have never been like fully black, black spots. And so this is from Just Shay. This is Coda hanging in the backpack right here, just chilling. Absolutely adorable. She sent in quite a few pictures, so thank you for sending that in. That's awesome. Apparently she has a rat as well, but like I said, I'm gonna only show like 5 or 6 a day, so that way I don't go through them all. But if you want to send in a picture of your pet, you just email me. If you can, put your YouTube name and then put your pet's name so I can show them out. But like I said, this is something I'm trying to do new with my shows, to kind of take a little break and kind of have some fun. And then I'm thinking maybe we could turn it into like a little thing where we vote on the something, but we'll get there. So let's see, did I get them all? Yeah. So like I said, I just wanted to do a few a day. So thank you guys so much for sending those in. And like I said, if you want to send, if you haven't sent a picture in and you want to, please send it in. Let's see, is Doug? Yep, I see Carter there. So I knew I was going to say. So Carter, you can see him right here. Here's Douglas Carter. Hopefully, this is what I'm hoping. One of these days, hopefully soon, we're going to see one of these, but we're going to see Bridge Guy's face with the real killer right here. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for one of these press conferences, hopefully soon, with Bridge Guy right here and the actual killer right here. That'd be so cool. So cool. So this is 34 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole 34 minutes, but we'll just kind of get into the good stuff. Thank you, Cynthia, for upgrading. That's so awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to skip it here.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Captain Ron Galaviz. I'm the Chief Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police. On behalf of Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter, the entirety of the Indiana State
Doug
Police,
Carter.
welcome you to our museum for this morning's press conference. I'd like to welcome members of the press.
This is from yesterday. This came out, I think, 2 days ago. The whole news about the Interstate 5 killer caught. It's either 2 days old or 1 day old.
Thank you for being here.
I think it kind of got, I know one big YouTuber kind of covered it, or a couple of them, but this kind of got overshadowed with all the Naomi and Cassie Carly stuff going on. So,
Respective members of the families, we love having you here. Thank you for being here. And to everybody watching either on your cellular devices, computers, TVs, what have you, welcome. Here in a few moments, in fact, I'm going to turn this over to Glenn Fifield here in just a moment for a couple housekeeping. Restrooms are around the back. Cell phone coverage is a little scanned in the
Okay, I'm gonna just get to the good stuff here.
Margaret Gill, also known as Peggy Gill, was murdered while working the night shift at the Days Inn located in Merrillville, Indiana. Jeanne Gilbert was murdered while working the night shift at the Days Inn located in Remington, Indiana. Numerous pieces of evidence were collected and preserved to include DNA, clothing, hairs, fibers, and ballistic evidence from these three cases. On January 2nd, 1990, a clerk working in the Days Inn located in Columbus, Indiana, was attacked in a similar manner as the previous three victims. This victim was able to escape her attacker and survived. She was ultimately able to give an excellent physical description of the suspect and details of the crime. Forensic evidence was also collected and preserved from this case. She is the only known victim to have survived the vicious and brutal attacks of this killer. One of the primary factors that linked these four crime scenes were their proximity to I-65, and for this obvious reason, the person was responsible for these murders was dubbed the I-65 killer. As you can see from this slide above me, the evidentiary similarities and links are highlighted between the four cases. And we've also have this on this display next to us. The Indiana State Police Laboratory subsequently matched ballistic evidence linking the Gill and Gilbert murders. The Indiana State Police Laboratory also later matched DNA evidence linking the Heath and Gilbert murders to the Columbus, Indiana case. Indiana State Police detectives recently requested assistance from the FBI's Gang Response Investigative Team, also known as GRIT. Many investigative and scientific techniques have either improved or been created through new technology.
Yeah, Bob, I agree.
Since the 1980s and
It
90s.
excites me.
One of these methods is investigative genealogy. Investigative genealogy is the use of DNA analysis in combination with traditional genealogy research and historical records to generate investigative leads for unsolved violent crime. This was an investigative step that generated a significant and important lead in this investigation. Further investigation and kinship lab testing by the Indiana State Police Lab of crime scene samples positively identified the suspect. The match was 99.9999% positive. It is this scientific breakthrough that ultimately led to the identification of the I-65 killer, Edward Greenwell. Greenwell was born December 9, 1944 and died in January 2013. Greenwell had an extensive criminal history and had been in and out of prison several times, even escaping from jail on 2 separate occasions. He was known to travel frequently in the Midwest. We have put the original sketch along with photos of Greenwell and a mugshot of him into the media packet that you all have been given today. We are not displaying his photo up here today out of respect to the victims and their families and not to glamorize him any more than he already has been or may be in the future.
Yeah, so just to add on that real quick, there's something I haven't mentioned. So there's one thing that I really won't probably show on my channel much, unless, like, I don't know, it kind of depends, but for the most part, the one thing that I probably won't cover on my channel is school shootings. And there's nothing wrong with other people showing that. I just don't want to cover that kind of stuff. I don't want to give the killer any kind of clout, and that's just my views on that. So, like I said, there's ever school shootings, if there's something that needs to be out there where it's, some kind of information as far as like trying to catch the person, then, we'll cover it. But as far as like school shootings, that's why you haven't seen me cover this last one with, I'm not going to name his name, starts with a T. But I just, like I said, I don't want to give these people any kind of recognition because, some of these people think that, I'm going to go down I'm going to be famous, because I'm going to shoot up innocent people in school or something. So that's one thing I won't, like I said, that's not a knock to anybody that does cover it. It's just, it's just my view. So.
Investigators documented significant events in Harry Greenwell's life to include law enforcement contacts in the following timeline. And that's displayed right here. These events were gathered by review of Greenwell's criminal history,
Am I married?
reports, historical
No, I'm
Iowa
not married.
Department of Corrections paperwork, which included some self-reporting by him, newspaper archives, public records, and the conducting of interviews by detectives. As most of you know, Interstate I-65 runs from Gary, Indiana, all the way down south to Mobile, Alabama. Investigators have long believed that there is distinct possibility that there have been murders, rapes, robberies, or assaults that have not yet been connected to this investigation. Investigators are actively working with other departments in the Midwest to determine if Greenwell was a perpetrator of other violent
Right.
crimes yet to be solved. So with that, I'd like to introduce the Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Doug Carter.
Oh, it's Doug Carter.
Gosh,
He's
there's so much.
always a character. He's always a character. He's something else. I'm sorry I had to pause it, but Doug Carter is something else when he gets up and talking. He is a very unique individual. I like him. I think he's passionate, and I think he wants to solve these cases. And but if you've been with me, we watched him when he was being interviewed by a reporter, and they were trying to ask about evidence in the case of Delphi, and he started getting mad, and so he could turn on his charm and then quickly switch gears in a second, and so he's a unique individual.
And I would like to say that I'm not going to spend a tremendous amount of time, but to the family members that are here, I'm not going to begin to try to understand or say that I understand, because none of us do. But I hope that today might bring a little bit of solace to you, to know that the animal that did this is no longer on this earth. I'm not going to say his name. I think we need to focus on the victims today. It's amazing what happens over the course of generations. There's detectives in this very room that have been involved in this in some form or another, literally for generations. And they're owed a debt of gratitude that we can never possibly repay. But their effort was for you. Their effort was for you and for those that remain. I'm the luckiest guy on the planet Earth to be able to represent this profession at this level. And I'm continually amazed, even though we fuss with each other, what happens when we all come together as one for you. For you. It's amazing what happens. The message is, you might be able to hide for a while, but we're going to find you. Even if you're not here. And I think one of the most amazing pieces
Yeah.
of this puzzle
Grady
that
is
this
something
team of
else.
people, they're standing on the walls on the outside of this and even behind me, did the work for you after he was gone. So I hope today gives you that next chapter. I hope it's going to allow you to take that next step. And know that while science is continuing to evolve, the dedication from people that are standing behind me is as strong as ever. And it's amazing what happens when you put the two together. So it's a pleasure to be able to stand here with you today. And again, I'm most grateful to all of those people over the course of now generations that have stepped up and stepped out for a successful conclusion for you.
I'd like to introduce Special Agent in charge of the FBI Indianapolis office, Herbert Stapleton. Sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having us here today. I want to start off by saying to the families of Vicki, Heath, Peggy, Gill.
Okay, so like I said, I don't want to play the whole 30 minutes, and 'cause I know some things are interesting, and some. I want to get to the part where they talk about how they caught him with the DNA, because that's really interesting.
Years to continue to try to identify this individual. You never gave up, and I hope that today's announcement shows that this team of law enforcement techniques have either been improved or devised that allows us, through new advances in technology, and to be able to identify offenders that we wouldn't have been able to identify in the past. It's through these technological advances, and perhaps more importantly, strong collaborative partnerships among law enforcement personnel, that we were able to identify this person and hopefully begin to bring closure to all those affected. I've used the word "we" many times as I speak about these events, and that's not by accident. This was a team effort. This investigation, led by the Indiana State Police and by the Elizabethtown, Kentucky Police Department, along with the Columbus, Indiana Police Department.
Okay, I'm
and
going to
the
skip a little bit.
agencies, that we were able to, after these many years, finally solve this particular crime. Thank you again to the families.
I thank you all for coming. It really highlights the generational dedication.
From the Columbus Police Department, Lieutenant Matt Harris, Public Information Officer.
Over 3 decades ago, CPD officers responded to a robbery at a Columbus hotel where the clerk was viciously assaulted. 32 years later, thanks to modern investigative techniques and the hard work of law enforcement officers past and present, this heinous crime was linked to other deadly robberies and assaults in Indiana and Kentucky. These cases illustrate the importance of seeing every investigation through to the very end. Law enforcement officers and detectives are taught to never give up and to follow where the facts lead them. However, an experienced officer will trust their instincts as well. The smallest piece of evidence is often what breaks a case wide open.
He is.
Sometimes the answers do not come as quickly as we would like, but in the end, I am thankful that we are finally able to provide answers to questions that have plagued these victims and their families for so long. While we cannot bring loved ones back or erase the years of hurt and loss these families have endured, it is my hope that they are able to find comfort and healing with the developments in this investigation. Thank you.
Our final speaker is a special speaker. I'd like to introduce the daughter of Jeanne Wright, representing the family, the daughter of Jeanne Gilbert, representing the family of Jeanne Gilbert. Kim Gilbert Wright. Kim?
Monumental development that's been long awaited by our family, the surviving victim, the families of Peggy Gill and Vicki Heath, and also friends and families of the victims who have all been on this long journey with us. Our family is extremely grateful to all of the agencies, along with the agency partnerships, as you've heard, who've committed to keeping these unsolved cases at the forefront for over 33 years and longer, and who have worked tirelessly to bring these cases to resolution for all who have suffered from these crimes. From man-hours to continuous pursuit of new leads and new technology, your efforts certainly do not go unnoticed, whether they were big or whether they were small. As we've learned today, rapid developments in DNA science and in genealogy research forums, those were tremendous factors in solving these cases. And without constant scientific advancements in these areas, more time likely would have elapsed in bringing these cases to resolution. And I have faith they will factor into the resolution of many other unsolved and perhaps cold cases out there as well. We are appreciative that these methods were pursued, and also appreciative to those who took part in genealogy searches that led to the discovery of the identity of the killer in this case were willing to participate and have their DNA in a data bank that could be compared. While this news may not close the cases, or while this news might close the cases at hands officially, new chapters of healing will begin for all of us involved, and those chapters will be written differently for each of us. Closure and justice may seem apparent or obvious in these cases now, but in many ways, these concepts are only beginning to take shape for those of us who have led our lives and had our lives turned upside down at the hand of this killer. Justice specifically, and as many of you may know, I'm an attorney, so I have a unique perspective with respect to that word, but justice specifically can mean different things to different people. Some will believe the identity of the...
Are you guys, somebody's saying, you guys think it's Douglas Carter? Is that what you guys are saying? Yeah, I don't think it's Douglas Carter. But I know some people. It's kind of people either kind of love him or hate him.
Killer proves we believe our loved ones would have wanted.
So I'm going to see if there's any other speaker.
His family. She's still in my family's heart. I celebrate her. I encourage everyone else to celebrate her. And I encourage everyone to celebrate the moments that we've had at our...
Okay.
Do you know how many cases they are looking into in connection?
Other than that one that she just mentioned, I don't have any specifics on any other cases. We're anticipating that this revelation today may generate new leads on other cases.
If someone thinks there might be a connection here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you better go to bed.
You can reach out to the Indiana State
poor
Police.
thing.
Detective Gary Rundy was involved with that with our department. We would take that kind of information.
Can you share
David Gray, are you talking about Carter?
the genealogy investigative portion of this and how long that took, how that process kind of worked?
I'll turn that over to Tom. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I can't share too many details about the actual process, but the GRIT Task Force became involved in 2019, and then thereafter, that's when the investigative genealogy process started. Sometimes, the length of time in which the process may take may depend. It's going to be based on a case-by-case basis. But
I get my
essentially,
notebook out.
It began a couple of years ago.
Can you explain more about the process in general?
Unfortunately, I can't divulge too many details about the actual process, but what's been described by the Indiana State Police PIO is the basic process, taking known DNA samples and comparing them to DNA samples of the suspected killer, and then there's additional technology. There's additional techniques that have been developed that weren't available scientifically previously. That's all I can say about it.
Before the breakthroughs in the...
Oh, I was hoping he would talk more. This is kind of what I was...
Investigators or law enforcement's radar.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay, David. Interesting.
Not that I've been made aware. In 2010, I believe, is when his DNA was linked through CODIS. And then from there, they did not have a specific individual until, Special Agent Charles Herbert said, until mid-2019 is when we started looking at that.
I thought it had previously been reported that Margaret Gill's DNA, the DNA from Margaret Gill was a match with Dean Gilbert. Is that not correct now?
Yeah, those two, the Gilbert and Gill homicides were linked through ballistics. And so that's how it became linked with the other three, was because we knew that the DNA from the Gilbert homicide link the other three, and with that one already being linked through the ballistics, then we were able to connect that one as well.
Huh.
Any other questions?
There was certainly a pattern of behavior from the suspect, according to the timeline. Was there a letdown in putting this person behind bars before any of this happened?
What do you mean by a letdown? I'm not sure I
Just
understand.
in terms of, should this behavior have been recognized prior to this, with previous offenses?
Well, as you can see, he had a criminal history, but nothing like this was ever on the radar that I've been made aware of until we discovered this through DNA. Obviously, we would have loved to put him in jail long before he passed away. Unfortunately, that opportunity didn't present itself. It's not for lack of trying. These investigators, as Superintendent said, we have retired detectives here in the room that spent hundreds of hours investigating this case, looking for him. With no stone left unturned, and if we could have put him in jail before then, we definitely would have.
He died from natural causes?
His obituary stated that he died of cancer, but I don't have I haven't seen the death certificate.
Oh yeah, I'll have to read you the obituary of him. It's crazy. Oops.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
just
Carter's
quickly,
gonna talk real quick.
Can't really help myself. To the family members, we have a real opportunity here to change the very future of policing. And the good news is we have media partners from here and all over the country, literally around the world. We all know how we can communicate.
Oh, good night, Espressa.
So the message here is because of science and because of technological advancements.
Oh, thank you, Christy,
experiences
Carrie.
that you've
Thank
had
you,
to
sweetie.
endure.
Thank you so much.
We are better people. We are better people.
Do you want me to do the voice comparison to Douglas Carter so we can just? All right, I think I got to do it because I'm seeing so many. All right, hold on. I know. I think we need to get everybody close to Delphi and do the whole guys down the hill thing. All right, let's just take a look. Just for fun. Just to, just for a little entertainment. Just take a little peek. I know somebody sent me in a clearer one. I apologize. I keep forgetting to download that and use that. I apologize. Whoever sent that in to me, thank you so much. And I will get some time download it onto my computer. But this one's still a pretty good audio. Which could be a little louder, but... Okay, let's just take a look here. Put you... Let me go right there. And let me minimize this just a little bit real quick, guys. Okay. Alright, let me just see how he's going to talk real quick to kind of see when to play it.
To anybody contemplating continuing to commit these kinds of crimes, you cannot hide. You cannot hide from this. And I think that the science associated with technology, local, state, and federal level, prepares us and gives us tremendous capacity as we look into the future. So please understand, because of your experience, you've made us better. I think it's important that you hear us say that. We could go back in time to one of the questions and hindsight's 20/20 and have identified who this individual was.
I don't know.
But please don't think that was intentional, because it wasn't.
God, I don't think Carter did in it, but oh my god, it's kind of creepy. It does kind of sound like him a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. It's crazy that sounds. I do not think it's Carter, but it does sound like him. It is kind of scary. It's not funny, but That's just kind of odd. I've never compared his voice to that. It's weird. Yeah, Keegan is pretty, yeah.
Is what you've allowed us. So, from one humble public servant to you, please accept my sincerest thanks and gratitude in ways that I could never possibly say.
There's parts to it where it sounds like, ooh,
Yes.
kind of, and then there's other parts that are like, yeah, it's kind of, there's some, I think they can hit some of the same pitches, and then there's some where, especially the hill kind of seems, but guys, when he's going up, that just kind of sound like him a little bit. You want me to do? They kind of frown on doing that. We'll see, David. We'll see. I don't want to kind of get. No, we'll see about that, David. But I at least did the voice matching. But we'll do it one more time because there is some. It does seem like he kind of hits some levels of guys and maybe down, but then I don't know. We'll just kind of one more time just for entertainment.
You hear that all over the country, you hear it around the world, you all know how to communicate now. So the message here is because of science, because of technological advances, because of experiences that you've had to endure, we are better. We are better people. To anybody contemplating committing these continuing to commit these kinds of crimes, you cannot hide. You cannot hide from this. And I think that the science associated with technology,
Yeah.
at the local, the state.
Like I said, this is just for entertainment. I don't think Carter's BG, but there's some pitches that are pretty close.
So please understand, because of your
Not,
experience, you made us better. I think it's important that you hear us say that. We could go back in time to one of the questions and
BG could be
hindsight's
interesting,
20/20,
yeah.
and have identified who this individual was. But please don't think that was intentionally missed, because it wasn't. It was not. So I think if we don't try and see something good, we'll all go crazy. And the good is what you've allowed us to do. So from one humble guy, one humble public servant to you, please accept my sincerest thanks and gratitude in ways that I could never possibly say.
Yes.
Can you speak on his employment history with the railroad during the time frame?
Anyways, I'm sure if he was a superintendent on a Monday, and the crime happened at 3:00, I'm assuming he's working, and unless he called in sick that day or something, So, but it is interesting. There is a few pitches that kind of resemble him a little bit, but I don't think it's him. So there's that. I'm really surprised they didn't talk about the DNA process like they did with the Golden State Killer. Man, that was so interesting to learn how they did that. And I forget the players in that, but they all kind of came together, and just amazing. Just amazing what they did for Golden State Killer. But like I said, it excites me because I really feel like one of the days... sorry, I just got to pull this up because I don't have a picture. But I'm really hoping for one of these days real soon that we're going to see this, and we've got BG's picture back here with the real killer. And, hopefully he's alive so he gets to do time, and, and it's not this situation where it's 40 years down the road and sadly this guy passed away. he can't do the time that, you know, he deserves. So, but, yeah, so thank you guys so much for all the love and support with the donations. That really help. I'll probably either tomorrow or the next day go back to the 35%. Once you donate to the Humane Society, you kind of get on like the newsletter list, and they'll actually send you emails of like when they're gonna match, do like a week of matching donations. So that's really cool. So I'm really excited because this month we're gonna do the Humane Society again, and even though it's 35% that I'm taking out for the donations, since it'll be matched, it's really like 70% or half the money you send will actually go to the animals. So I'm really excited. So yeah, just real quick for those that are just kind of tuning in, just real quick, because this just came out a couple hours ago. But if anybody's in Norman, Oklahoma, this girl Erica Portillo, she's only 13. She is, I don't know if she's kind of a runaway, but she was last seen on the 5th, yesterday at 5 p.m. Near the Metro Library on 300 block Southwest 27th. They say possibly in Norman, Oklahoma. So, if anybody's out there, please take a close look. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oops, something about. I have new theories on Summer. Yeah, poor Summer Wells. So, yeah, I did a video yesterday where lead investigator dropped a bombshell saying that he doesn't think that Summer Wells was abducted or trafficked, which I really is just like, whoa. And he believes that she's close by. What's crazy that I forgot to tell you guys is, so as you know, her name is Summer Moon Utah Wells. Now they used to live in Utah, and so I think that's where the Utah name comes from. Her middle, or I don't know if that's attached to her last name. So that's where the Summer Moon Utah Wells comes from, is because they used to live here in Utah, the Wells. So, so apparently after they, Don Wells and Candace had their interview with Dr. Phil, apparently they came here to Utah, and they set up some kind of memorial up in Ogden Canyon. And so there was some theories that had been going around that that they hid her remains up in that canyon. Now, obviously, Ogden Canyon is in Utah, where I live, and it's only an hour, maybe 2-hour drive. So I've been kind of getting the details set up, and I might go and take a look at this supposed memorial that Don Wells set up for his daughter. Apparently they even went out there with canine cadaver dogs to see if there's anything that they might have tried to hide evidence. So I might do a trip there come this summer, or early late spring, I guess I should say. So and so anyway. Oh, Tammy. Hey, that is Doug Carter. Yeah. Oh, just show you guys just real quick. Oh, I know what I want to show you guys. For those that don't know who Grady is, real quick. Let's just show Sheriff Grady. He is just one of a kind of guy. Let's see if I can find a video. Let me see if I can find just a short little video of Sheriff J.D. Garud real quick. Yeah, we'll do this one. We'll just play just a little bit because I want to get. I think you're trolling us with the Utah thing. No, I would not troll you with that. That's information that's out there that was on the Chris McDonald show.
Could you please tell us who you are? We are from
Now, like I said, that is not my theory. I don't think she's out there, but it would be interesting just to go out there and see this memorial and see. But apparently, Chris McDonough went out there and had canine dogs out there in the Ogden Canyon. So this is for those that have never heard of Sheriff Grady Judd. I'm just going to play like the first 2 minutes. But
hello, everyone. Thank you for being with me today for this release of information like you've never seen released here at the Sheriff's Office before. We've checked back into our history, and we can't find where this type of charge on this type of incident has ever been made. But before we talk about the charge,
really?
Let me go back in time and tell you about Mrs. Bruno here. She's 47 years of age. In December, she had a crash on Interstate 4 where she ran off of the road and she sideswiped the victim's truck. The victim and another vehicle had been involved in a minor crash and was off on the side of the road. The victim was standing beside the door when Mrs. Bruno, because she was so drunk, could not keep her car on the road. She sideswiped the truck, hitting our victim and killing him.
So what makes Grady unique, I mean, in so many ways, but he's always got these photos that he pulls out, you know. When they do press conferences, usually they have like some kind of thing in the back, or they have like a video or a projector in the back, kind of putting stuff back there. But him and his little photos and stuff, like I said, he is a unique individual, great storyteller. I wish I had his abilities to tell stories. I am terrible at telling stories. And he just grabs your attention. He is just so, like I said, he's so unique. And his team does great work. You got to give credit to the team that works under him, you know.
She was arrested. She was charged, among other things, with DUI manslaughter, which is a felony of the second degree. She had a breathalyzer of .20. Our traffic homicide team, which is simply the best, the very best, began their background investigation. And the goal is to go back and say, what was Mrs. Bruno doing from the second of the crash back? And here's what our traffic detectives determined. She, by the way, worked at a school as administrative support. I believe she was a secretary. Had arrived at Brulin's bar about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on this particular day, and she had began to drink. And she met a friend there, and the friend had also drank there as well. And then from there, we determined she and her friend went over to Lucky's, where she continued to drink. So she started drinking that we know of at about 4 p.m., and she left Lucky's bar at about 7:40 p.m. So you can see, for an extended period of time, 3.5 hours.
Let me pause it. So speaking of Grady, I don't know if you guys remember. So with Brian Laundrie, obviously it was a different county, unfortunately, from the county that because this is Polk County, I guess, Polk Sheriff Grady. I don't know all the counties in Florida, but unfortunately, it was not the same county. But you remember how they kind of messed up, dropped the ball when they said that they knew where Brian Laundrie was, and they allowed him to do his thing and not arrest him right there when he literally came back without his girlfriend and she's missing, and yet was it Northport didn't do anything, and then they mistaken Brian Laundrie for his mother. It was ridiculous. And now Grady Judd didn't say much, because I'm sure he doesn't want to make talk bad about other departments, but the thing that he just said though, he's like, if this happened in my county, he would have been arrested immediately. Which I wish I could find that statement. I'll have to see if I can find that statement. But he's like, that he basically said that would have never happened in our county, and I thought it was hilarious because he don't mess around. Oh, thank you, Taco Noodles. I love that name. That's so cool, Taco Noodles. So. I've been on those baby girls case for 5 years. Delphi murder. Yes, Tammy. Oh, it's tough. I know. Taco Noodles. Yeah, show Taco Noodles some love. So anyway, that's Sheriff Grady. And boy, God, the stories. Recently, they did an undercover sting with what was it? I'm trying to see if I can see if it's in there. They did a massive sting at one of the parks and caught a bunch of traffickers and stuff. Just absolutely amazing to catch all these people. I'm surprised it's not up here. Anyway, but yeah, that was about a week ago where he. Yeah, they did a big, huge operation and busted, oh my God, numerous child traffickers, people that just abused children, and just amazing work that Sheriff Grady does. Absolutely amazing. So, and then you got to credit the people that work with him, because he's kind of, even though he's out there, he's kind of more of the spokesperson, but So, and then prop back, go into the shed. Yeah, and I know somebody asked me, I forgot to go into my theory about what happened to Summer Wells, but my theory was kind of early on before all the stuff kind of came out, and I have videos on my theory, but like I said, they're months old, where this was before all the nonsense started coming in. So, but taken away from what, so pull this up real quick. Taken away from what the lead investigator said, he says he feels like she's close. So, and he said that if he believes that she wasn't trafficked or kidnapped, so that really that really points to either her running off and got injured, or the parents have covered it up somehow. There was an accident or whatever, and the parents know more, and they're not talking. But so here it is. Here's their home right here. So here's the driveway right here. Apparently you could drive around. Don Wells said that there was some kind of dog trail that kind of led through here. And he believes that there was someone maybe parked right here and probably came up the drug trail. This is one theory. And the door so she had a bedroom kind of like in the basement, but there's a door, because since the ground goes down level, the basement door just opens out back. And, and then they say sometimes the brothers accidentally leave the door unlocked, so someone came in and been waiting. It's a theory if you're thinking of, intruder theory. They could have snagged her and, ran through here. That's one theory. Or you guys talked about Dawn. Maybe Summer got herself gone out of the basement, got to the road where she was run over. Could be, yeah. So, yeah, maybe she went out, ran, and then Dawn came. An accident happened, and then they covered her up, tried to cover it up, and this is kind of just a zoom out what you got here. I mean, look at all this just vast terrain where, you could hide a body somewhere up in here. I don't know. I mean, it looks like there's some residential homes here and there. I don't know this area, but I mean, this would be the area to maybe hide something. So, I mean, they clearly have their work cut out for them on both sides of this. I mean, just look, this. But I don't know. It's tough. I mean, you literally had Benny Keys infiltrate the wells for, however long months. And, really the only thing he came away with, this is not a knock to Benny Keys, but, he said that they have a phone, supposedly, that has not been turned over to the authorities. And he feels like something could be on that phone that could be useful. So, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a difficult case. That is for sure. It is. It's a difficult case. It's a case that just kind of there's just, I don't know. It just kind of got really messy, and I kind of had to step away from it because it just I just remember one time. Someone tagged Summer Wells, and so I clicked on it, expecting to hear some information, and they're talking about how to do their nails and stuff. They weren't even talking about Summer Wells, and it frustrated me, and it happened more and more, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So, but from what the lead investigator says, is he feels like she's close by. So, take that for what it is. Clearly they hold more cards than we do. But Betty believes they're involved at this point because of Candy's lies. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Erica. Yeah, so they... It's tough. I really don't know what to say on it. I really just wish there'd be a little more evidence to work with, to kind of develop a solid theory. And there's just way too much to wade through with all the Jose interview and all this stuff. I don't know. It's tough. I wish I had more time too. So, but, so let me, just check Twitter. They're going to be doing, and someone just posted, I saw that. Give me just 1 second here. So, celebration of life for Naomi, which is, a great cause. Let's just show the date and time of that real quick for anybody that might want to go to that. So, oh, that's tough. Oops. So anyway, I'm just looking up the celebration of life thing. Should be right here. If anybody knows, go ahead and put it in the chat. I think it was going to be this weekend. And I've heard, now I don't want to go too much into rumors, but apparently, there's been some rumors that that there was a job site that LedCorp did in Utah, around Helper, Utah, which is kind of close to Moab. So there's been some talk about maybe he could have been the killer of the newlywed couple. I think that's kind of a stretch, but I'm going to look into it. I've seen some people mentioning that. But that would be pretty crazy if that was the case. Okay, now I can't find it. Anybody know? Okay, Sunday 5 to 7. Thank you, Karen. I was going to say, if Karen's in here, she'll know it. That's awesome. 5 p.m. All right, so yeah, celebration of life between 5 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Karen Lee. I should have just probably pulled yours up, huh? You probably have it on... I think I saw you post it not too long ago. So yeah, Karen Lee does great work. She is a busy person, always advocating for a lot of people. I mean, just busy, busy, busy. Oh my gosh. Which I can't find it. Anyway, I should... Oh, that's the foundation. So, between 5 and 7, do we know where... yeah, the Moab murders, Lynn. Yeah. So, apparently... Thank you. Okay, so... Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't find it. So, community come together Sunday, April 10th, out of town park in Fernley between 5 and 7. Thank you, Copper Horse. Let me pin that at the top right now. Just for anybody who wants to go to that. Yes, yes. So that's kind of the working theory, Ricky, is so because Naomi was kind of a supporter of the Rainbow Crowd. Yeah, we'll just say Rainbow Crowd. And then we obviously, the newlywed couple, both females. The same thing. And so there's a possible theory that Troy Driver could have been in the area during that time because LedCorp does work. Did have a job site during that time. We don't know if he was actually there, but because LedCorp is a big company, so who knows who was actually working.
Number 22,
just show you Troy Driver.
150. You were arrested on March 25th of 2022 by the Lyon County Sheriff's Department. You were booked on the felony charge.
Yeah, Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner. Yeah.
Probable cause for your
so if there's any more information on that, I'll look into it. See if LedCorp does.
Your bail is currently set in the amount of $750,000 bondable.
Because we do have
30th of 2022, the state filed.
We do have mines because we obviously Utah borders Nevada, and the mines and everything, they're kind of like border each other, so it would make sense that they, LedCorp would be working in Nevada and Utah.
Formal charges. Did you receive a copy of the complaint?
Yes.
Mr. Driver, do you have the complaint in front of you?
Yes, Amy.
Yes.
On line 12, is your true and legal name Troy E. Driver?
Yes,
Is your name spelled correctly?
it is.
Did you watch the riots video from Judge Casabom?
Yes.
The law firm of Mario Walther is appointed to represent you today. He is in the jail room with you today for the purposes of bail. Ms. Edmondo?
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
having previously discussed and obtaining the consent of Mr. Driver, For purposes of today, we would like to reserve bail and Valdez Jimenez arguments for a later date.
So Troy's new date,
First, your
which
concerns
is
on
weird
office.
because it's actually my birthday, is May 10th. So, yeah, so May 10th, which is a long ways out. Gosh, I can't believe it. But yeah, May 10th. It was supposed to be yesterday, and then he was supposed to have one on the 12th, but it's pushed back to May 10th for whatever reason. I don't know if it's new charges, but yeah.
Not notified or served by the court clerk is required by Supreme Court Rule 230.
Well, there are a couple that was missing.
Case proceedings.
Do you have the
Pursuant to
names,
that
Lynn?
rule, Your Honor, is the duty of news reporters that attorneys must be notified by the court of any such request, and that my office be served of the present. We have not gotten any notices of who is in the courtroom, and at this juncture, our concern is that
Oh, I don't know.
Rule 230 may already be.
I think soon, though.
We
Samantha.
understand, Your Honor, and we respect the public's First Amendment rights and rights to media. However, we would like for proper procedure to be followed, as Mr. Driver has rights as well. Additionally, Your Honor, there's a requirement that no more than one TV camera should be in the courtroom under Rule 230, subsection 1.
Oh, okay. Interesting,
Not received any
Ricky.
notice that this or other pooling procedures have been conducted, and I don't know the current picture on the ground, although I can see a portion of it at the Canal County Township Justice Court. Additionally, Your Honor, Walter Logs did not receive a PC sheet until today. After that time today, we received the complaint and risk assessment. For the
Anyway,
well.
I was just showing you a little bit because we were just mentioning Troy Driver's possible connection with the Moab murders. Like I said, I'd seen it pop up. I don't know how much stock you can put into that, but I'll take a look. Let me just see where Helper compared to Moab is real quick. So Helper, Utah. So directions, Moab, Utah. So about 2-hour drive. It's not that far. So I could see here. Let me zoom this out. So there's a lot of mines up here. I mean, we got mines up here as well. We got Utah has one of the biggest mines. We have the biggest coal mine, copper mine. Excuse me, copper mine. It's huge. So there's Helper to Moab. So Moab's more on this side. It's not impossible, but that's a long drive for Troy to. I mean, it's not long if he was working in Helper. I just don't see Troy. I don't know. I mean, he could have been camping. I don't know. I'll have to look a little more into it. It's interesting. So, RV couple Ronnie Baker have been found dead, and the wife Beverly has been taken to the hospital. Yes. RV couple, Ronnie Parker and Beverly. Interesting. So, missing Indiana couple. Wow, boy, a lot of stuff's coming out of Indiana today. So, missing Indiana couple found in Nevada desert. Man dead, wife hospitalized, family says. Let's see what happened. Okay, family members say they have no details on where the couple was found or how Ronnie died. They say Beverly is doing okay and was flown to Reno Hospital. A couple from Indiana who was reported missing more than a week ago in Nevada has been found, according to the county sheriff's office. Their nephew, Travis Peters, supposed to update on Facebook saying rescue teams found the couple near Silver Peak. He said Ronnie had died and Beverly had been airlifted to the hospital in Reno, where she's doing okay. Reports a couple left in Oregon on March 26th and were headed to Tucson, Arizona. Their daughter says all contact with the parents ceased over a week ago. It is likely they fell off the face of the earth or they just vanished. They were driving a 2015 Forest River Sunseeker RV with the gold stripe with the Indiana plate. Ronnie and Beverly were also towing their Kia Soul. Family members say the couple's RV was found stuck in the mud and their car was not at the scene. So the county sheriff's office said the couple made it to the campground at Nellis Air Force Base, that's in Nevada, where they were supposed to spend the night before hitting the road to Tucson again. My parents were supposed to meet in Tucson Tuesday evening, March 29th. That's when they were supposed to be pulling into the campgrounds in Tucson. They didn't show up. It is unclear what happened to the couple. The details surrounding Ronnie's death has not been released. Information. So interesting. I wonder, maybe they broke down and were kind of in the middle of nowhere and he succumbed to his, death by exposure, maybe? I'll have to look more into that. We know what time Crystal and Kylan were shot, so surely the route from Helper to Moab can be checked for CCTV. Correct? For sure. They don't know. They didn't say. They don't know foul play. So let's see. Let's see where they left. They left... okay, let's go back. So the couple never made it to the campground at Nellis Air Force Base. So let's copy that. So when were they? Where were they stuck in the mud? Okay. Where they were stuck in the mud at? So they were headed to Tucson, and they were supposed to be at Nellis Air Force Base. Nellis Air Force Base. Nevada. They were going to... That's the base. We're going to Arizona. Okay, so, that's a big journey. So, they were supposed to make their stop in Nellis Air Force Base, and then they were supposed to go to Tucson, but they never made it to Nellis. Now, Nellis is pretty close to Vegas, so, but if they didn't make it, this is the problem, is, as you can see, I'm not sure if they came from this direction. But as you look on I-15, it's a lot of desert. A lot of desert. Could they have broken down somewhere? And so the motive could be robbery. They were found in the Kia. Thank you, Rachel. So they were okay, yeah. So it sounds like they just kind of broke down. Sadly they lost the trailer. Now they're in the Kia. Maybe broke down somewhere along the highway. And sadly, you start succumbing to exposure, or not exposure because you're in the car, but no food or anything. Yeah. They were winding up a dirt road on Red Mountain. Oh. Interesting. So okay, so they were down here. Boulder City. And yeah, there's some desolate spots in between. Yeah, health issues. Yeah, a little bit of. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. When you obviously it's too bad they didn't have stuff in their Kia. If you're gonna go on a trip, make sure you bring food, medical equipment. I forget, but the next show I do, people don't know this, but there is a way to turn your phone into kind of like a emergency broadcast, where it sends out like a signal, kind of, like a GPS, even if you're out of range of like the towers. There's ways to do it with the iPhone, and there's ways to do it with the Android. I've got to find that article, and next time I do my show, I will show you that, because it's a real simple technique, and you can turn your phone into kind of a kind of like a I can't think of the thing, but like a beacon, saying, hey, I need help. And it'll work even if you're not in phone range, apparently. But it's something you have to like go in and do. That it's just not in your options, apparently. Maybe it's something that they need to obviously change and make it more accessible. And you can just go on your phone and say, okay, I'm going on a trip, so I'm going to turn my phone on this emergency broadcast signal, so that way if when I go on a trip, I can set that, and if something happens, even if I'm not in an area with service, this still is supposed to be able to send out a signal. So I will look for that document, and we'll show that next time for sure. So, oh yeah, Tracy, yeah, I came across it a couple months ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh. It's just like one of those things that it's just like, why isn't this just in a normal setting, But so anyway, thank you guys. You guys are so awesome. So I've been on for I've been on for a little while. Like I said, about an hour. Kind of running slow real quick, but at least my streaming is going good. No buffering, so that's awesome. Hey, Melissa. So anyway, guys, for those that are just coming in, we did the kind of like the timeline of the serial killer, how he was identified. We went kind of through the victims and everything. It's pretty interesting. Sadly, the serial killer, he passed away in 2013 from lung cancer, but through genealogy and advancement in DNA, they were able to capture Henry Greenwell. Not capture, I mean identify Henry Greenwell. And so that, that gives closure to the family who, so I think that's amazing. So, yeah. So I just want to say thank you, Lady M. Thank you, Copper Whores, Taco Noodles. I know I'm forgetting a couple people. I know I've already shouted you out, but thank you again, everybody that donated for the car fund. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I've got some big things coming up real soon. Like I said, I'm going to be going out to Skinwalker Ranch. I'm going to be going out to Moab with the newlywed. Sadly, I won't be going with Tony. But it's nothing to do with Tony. It's just, the timing's bad and everything. But I'm still going to go out there and do some investigating. So, got some big plans coming real soon. But fortunately, I've got some family members that are in the ER in the hospital. So I got to go take care of them, make sure they're okay. And so the car fund really helps because get these emissions passed. It'll be great. So thank you all new members. Thank you everybody. It's been wonderful in the chat. You guys are so amazing. And I'm not sure. I don't want to say I might go live, but I don't know. It just depends. So it'll be a surprise if I do. So thank you mods for everything. Russia Aloha. Yep, I will. I'll try to give you a call or something. Russia Aloha. Yeah, because right now it's it might be a busy week or two for me, sadly, with what's going on right now. So, but I will get in touch with you. All right, everybody. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful Wednesday. And we will talk to you guys soon. And I will get a video out for the paranormal soon.